Okay, this is sort of an open-ended video, open letter. Um, Not just all the anti-Trump people out there, not just to the people who allow themselves to be spoon-fed lies by the biased mainstream media, not just to everyone who thinks that Donald Trump wouldn't make a good president, that he's brash, that he's a racist, that he's a loudmouth, and all the other things that people learn to recite after being programmed by the mainstream media and television news. But this is also directed to the people who are leaning towards Trump, but just aren't quite sure. They don't know whether or not one man can really make a difference and really take on the establishment. The people that ask, well, what has Trump done? What can he do? Well, let me explain to you what he's done already. So, in June of last year, Trump entered the race for president. And in just a little over a year, Trump has single-handedly defeated the Republican Party. He did so thoroughly. In fact, he did it in such a resounding way that the Republican Party is now suffering from a huge identity crisis. He literally dismantled the party. Trump even dismantled and dismissed the brand and the value of the Bush family and the endorsement of the Bush family. Trump also has Obama petrified that if he wins the presidency, that he will come in and dismiss all the programs that weren't properly installed during the Obama administration. And that he'll do so using proper law. Trump has also single-handedly debunked and disemboweled any and all value that the news media, the mainstream media, may have had. The mainstream media and the news is now suffering from an all-time level of distrust and complete and total disrespect. Trump has leaders from all over the world talking about him. Whether it's good or bad, he's got their attention and they're talking about him. And trust me, powerful men who have been president before absolutely were not liked by the global community. I highly doubt that Mikhail Gorbachev liked Ronald Reagan when Reagan said to tear down the wall. Trump has expressly disclosed the fraud perpetrated on the American public by Hillary Clinton, the Clinton campaign, the Clinton Global Initiative, the Clinton Foundation, and Hillary Clinton's mainstream media lapdogs. And quite literally has brought Hillary to her knees. That is, if you believe that nervous tension and anxiety and disorders offer physical side effects and damage. Trump has managed to unify the silent majority in a way that should be patently frightening to any and all liberals. As the press accuses Trump of being a house of cards, Trump has proven that the press itself is the real house of cards. He's whipped up the entire establishment into pure panic. Trump has exposed them for who and what they are, and even worse, the standard news media, which is really just a huge propaganda machine, has been exposed by Trump. and they no longer have any value, and nobody trusts them anymore. So, just like Trump asked the African American community, I'm going to ask you. At this point, what do you really have to lose? We have mass cop shootings. We have riots in our streets. Cops are being ambushed. There's double-digit inflation. We have bombs blowing up on our city streets. We have police being targeted and killed. We have Black Lives Matter terrorist organization. The jobless rate is skyrocketing. We have zero economic growth. And at the same time, we're giving China economic growth. And that's just one example. We have privately owned land being seized by the federal government. Right now, there is the absolute worst racial tension that there's ever been, at least in my lifetime. There's no more God in schools. There's not even the Pledge of Allegiance left in schools. There's more abortions than ever. We have illegal aliens pouring into our country with absolutely no way of vetting them out, finding out who they really are and what their intentions are. We have sick veterans receiving absolutely no care, dying in the process of waiting to get that care, and a debt that's doubled in 7 years to 19 trillion. So are you really happy with the condition of the current system? One man has done all of this in 1 year, one guy, and on his own dime. And with everything that I've said above, you believe that Trump hasn't done anything. You claim that you're afraid of Donald Trump. No wonder you're in trouble. You can say that Trump is a lousy presidential candidate. That's your right. Just don't ever say that he is ineffective. Because Megyn Kelly, Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, The Washington Post, The New York Times, the AP, Associated Press, Don Lemon, Jake Tapper, the Hillary Clinton campaign, the DNC, the GOP, and many, many more have completely and totally failed to implement their collectively orchestrated and biased lies on the American people against Donald Trump. And that's actually a massive testament to Trump and to his character and to his ability. The press colluded pure biased propaganda and lies to accomplish Trump's demise. And they've collectively failed, and they failed miserably. So just one example of how badly America is injured right now. There are high school players, football players, on their knees during the national anthem, simply because the press used propaganda to program these kids to do that very thing. But these kids, what they're doing is they're mimicking NFL stars the same way that kids choose which brand of football shoes to purchase or which pair of Jordans to purchase. They're overtly brainwashed to do this. Now we have a generation of children who hate America. But America's problem isn't that little children are on their knees in collective disrespect of the United States of America. Our problem is that America is figuratively on her knees from collective disrespect by Americans far and wide. You can disrespect America all you want, but it's high time that you respect the silent majority. Because, well, to put it simply, they're not the silent majority, as you've been trained to believe. When Hillary calls us deplorables, the fact is that, quite simply, we're just the majority, and we're no longer silent. We're no longer gonna allow ourselves to be silenced. Donald Trump changed that, and he did it single-handedly within a year. So, next time you ask, what has Donald Trump done, you think about all this. Because Hillary Clinton is evil. She's authoritarian. She wants to see nothing good for this country. She just wants to pad her bank account, and she's completely and totally disgusted by all of us. She has no place being in the White House. She belongs in prison for all of the criminal activities she's been a part of. So just think about that. The only chance that this country has right now is Donald Trump. And it's plain and simple. So if you like this video, if you want to see more, just hit the subscribe button down below, and you'll be the first to know the next time I post another video. And also check me out on Twitter. And thank you very much. Have a good one.